Okay guys, I'm going to use today's video to talk about pretty much my favorite setup on the planet. And it happened today in GPS. Was called in the chat room, but no thanks to me. It was our all-star Stephen B, one of our all-stars, that alerted the room. But this I did have on watch, and it met everything I teach. I'm just not the one who saw it, and I just want to give hats off to Stephen B. But more importantly is the setup itself. This is something that every trader should have in their arsenal. One of my favorite setups. Now, the part that's a little bit subject to interpretation is whether or not your daily chart is a good setup for a bounce play. There's certain things I look for that put things on bounce watch for me. So that's the part that you have to decide, hey, is this a good bounce play on the daily before you can use the intraday method I'm getting ready to talk about. I'll explain here why GPS was on my bounce play watch list. Okay, you gapped up a few days ago. Okay, so you closed here. Sorry, my mouse is set really fast. You close there, and then the next day you open all the way up here above this base. So you know, it looked pretty good, but and they gapped up, I believe, on better than expected same-store sales. Plus, they announced a big buyback, but at the same time, they also announced they were buying a company, which can be negative, you know, for a stock. So you had all those factors working, and you can see it opened here, sold off, and gave a nice bounce that same day. But look what happened over the next couple days. Sold off again. Now, why is this on bounce watch? Well, because remember, you still have that good news baked in, even though it sold off. You also have, right in this area, you've got a lot of price support from this base, and you've got the 200-day right there. That's that purple line. So this 3 days down in a row after a gap up on some of what could be deemed pretty good news, 2 price support and the 200-day. All right, that's a great bounce play setup to me. So how do we play it on an intraday basis? Typically on a bounce play, I'd like to see it trade in a narrow range for a while in the morning and then break the early high of the day. And that's a good entry right there, and I show our members a way to put in a stop. But what I really prefer, and usually in the morning, that's all I do is watch, well, not all I do, but I watch my bounce plays to see if any of them gap down. And that's what I was getting ready to say. I usually prefer a gap down, and that's what I usually spend my first couple minutes on before I start stalking for volume plays for the room. But I didn't do it today, but thanks, Stephen B had my back. But I'll show you what happened. So bounce play, and then you get a gap down, and I'll show you what it looked like on 5-minute candles here. All right, here we go. This is the opening 5-minute candle this morning. So remember, you've already got a stock that looks good for a bounce today. Then it gaps down below the 200-day. You know, which actually that might have served to suck in some shorts. People thinking, oh, we're below the 200-day, it's an automatic short. That's not how it works. And this was overdue for a bounce anyway. So this is what we want to see. And then if you get some kind of a narrow range, by the way, look at the volume, okay? If you can get some kind of narrow range for the first 5 minutes, it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, it could even be 2 minutes. And then a break of its early high, oftentimes that's the low for quite a while. And anything can happen, as you know, but so the way to play it is a break of the early high. In this case, the high of this candle is 30.90. So if the next candle gets to 30.91, we're going to go long, and our stop's always going to go below this candle, worst case 30.72. So 19 cents risk. Stephen B threw out the alert while I was busy looking at volume plays and didn't see this. That's a great call right there. 30.91, worst case stop, low of day. Within another 5 minutes, you're at 31.20. Okay, everyone should be putting some money in their pocket. Go to a break-even stop. Look what happens. Doesn't hit the stop, and it's just off to the races all day long, closing near the highs of the day. And I'll throw in the daily candle now. Look at that. That's a beautiful turn. Look at that grab below the 200. Best setup I know. And they're just so easy when they work, and always worth stalking. So that is that's the summary of a bounce play gap down setup. There are other bounce plays as well that look differently maybe than GPS, but they'll still work the same way if you get that gap down and then a narrow range and a break of the high. Now, as always, they don't always work. So, you know, you always have a stop and you always manage your position size properly. But anyway, also I'll share with you real quick, SPWR. This is an easy trade, guys, and I want to share this one with you too. Whenever you have a crazy breakout like this and then 2 big red candles, and it could be 3 big red candles, I don't care, but it should be on watch the next day for some kind of a setup. Now let me switch to 5-minute candles and you can see what it did. It gapped up a little bit and looked like this. Okay, so I knew if this one lit up the new highs ticker after a 20-25 minute base, that this could probably catch another rally. Okay, so I went ahead and called it when it looked like this. I said if it gets to 7.99, I think I said 7.85 stop. Boom, there's the trigger. 5 minutes later, you're already up in the 820s. That's easy money, guys. You know, you might say, well, that's not a big move. Well, you know what? In 10 minutes, this thing traded over 700,000 shares. You could have had as many as you wanted. The stop was pretty tight, and it was just a matter of scaling out. Now, I might have tried to ride this up all day, but instead I was a seller up in the 820s, and here's why. This all occurred right around 10 o'clock, and if you look at the SPY, right around 10 o'clock, I believe that's the 10 o'clock area right there. So the SPY had jumped up and then was hitting new lows for the morning, and it just kept selling too, by the way. So we knew we were fighting that, and that was an easy trade. That's another kind of bounce play following a strong move. And then I also want to give hats off to B-Turk, one of our members. If you watch our videos, one of our all-stars, I'm sorry, if you watch our videos at all, you know we love intraday reversals on these strong sell-offs. And B-Turk called this one around 34.92 with a low of day stop, which was 8 cents below, and he just picked it clean there. Look at that, 34.92, and it ends up going to 36.28, a $1.36 move. Stephen B's GPS made a $1.15 move. One of them had 8 cents. STZ had 8 cents risk, and Stephen B's GPS had 19 cents risk. Both of them well over $1 on the rally. So great job by many people in chat today. And appreciate the teamwork. I'm going to quit babbling, and we will see you guys tomorrow.